can't panic when something new happens. You have to accept the reality, and it's an overused word in business, but you have to pivot when it's time to pivot.
Y'all, today's show is so good.
But number one, I've never seen an intro like that.
It is my hope and desire that not only will episode 30 still be fun, but episode 300 will be even more fun. You are made for something great, so go and be awesome.
Ten seconds remaining.
And welcome to the show. My name is Renee Hastings, and I'm your host of Renee Speaks. Y'all, today's show is brought to you by Executive Help Now. And at Executive Help Now, we are all about simplifying your business so you can focus on what really matters. From streamlining operations to managing administrative tasks and keeping everything organized. Our team is here to help you thrive. If you're ready to make life a little bit easier, visit us at executivehelpnow.org. Now, y'all, today's guest is nothing short of an absolute genius, okay? His name is Chris Walker, and he is the founder and CEO of Legit, which is a B2B or business to business growth engine. And Legit helps businesses with the right tools and professionals to help grow online. He is a seasoned entrepreneur with multiple 8-figure businesses in the digital marketing space, including Superstar SEO, Legit Leads, Snapped.io, and more. Y'all, put your hands together for Chris Walker. Hey, Chris.
Hey, I don't know if I can live up to that intro, but thank you.
I know you can. I absolutely know you can, because you know what, Chris? What you do changes lives. Because not only is AI here, it seems to have come in like a storm. Whether or not we were ready for it, it's here.
Yeah.
And we can't go and take cover. We just need to deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I am here. I'm so glad that you are here to help us deal. Because there's so many of us who might love AI. Some of us might hate AI. Some of us might be terrified of AI. And I know that you have just what it takes to help us do what we need to do to deal. So why don't you, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you even got started on this journey, or what piqued your interest in AI, and when did it all start?
I mean, most of us only found out about it in late 2022 or so.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really pay it much attention. I thought it was going to be the thing that everybody was talking about that week, and then next week it was something else, which happens a lot. But it almost immediately affected our business. Not to get into the weeds too much, but we have a lot of freelancers that offer a lot of different services on our platform. And one of our best sellers was content services. And I can literally track from when ChatGPT came out in, I think, October of 2022, the literal nonstop down into the left of our content sales from that moment on, because people don't want to pay writers anymore. They want to push 3 buttons inside of a AI program and get their content. So the that's kind of when I realized that this is the way it's going to go. So we have to adapt. So we adapted our platform to incorporate AI and give those freelancers other opportunities and things like that. So you can't panic when something new happens. You have to accept the reality, and it's an overused word in business, but you have to pivot when it's time to pivot. So
Right. Absolutely. And there's just no two ways about it. It
yeah,
just
I was too young. I wasn't too young, but like I wasn't really paying attention in the late 90s when like the internet started becoming a big thing. And I imagine there was people feeling the same way at that time.
yes, absolutely. Trust me, I was there.
Mm.
there was there was this panic. I remember my first email, and I kept saying, I want to send a email, email.
It was on the
Yes, it was so funny because it was right around the time of, you probably don't remember, Lotus Notes. There was this WYSIWYG and before Word, there was this program called Word Perfect, and all of the keyboard function keys that you use to make
they
different
actually know what
things
they're doing.
happen. Yeah, and then they made the mouse.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I've had computers since the 80s. So.
So funny, so funny how much technology has changed our lives over time, that, like you said, we have to pivot, we have to adjust and adapt and accept, and just know how we can continue to innovate and thrive in the midst of it all. You know what I mean? Because there's just no way around it.
Yeah.
If you're going to stay relevant, you have to do these things. So, Kristen, what to that end, how would you say AI is changing the way businesses approach SEO today? And first of all, for those that don't know, help us understand what SEO is, why it's important, and what AI has to do with it.
Okay, so SEO stands for search engine optimization. For years, it meant showing up higher in Google. Now it means other things as well. But basically, it takes a website or a property somewhere on the internet to make it show up higher in search engine. So you optimize it for search engine. That's the most basic explanation. There's a lot that goes into it. Sorry, what was the question?
Right. And that's important because you want, when somebody searches what you do, for your name to come up first instead of somebody else's or your competitors.
Right. If you're looking for a dentist or a plumber or whatever, if you are a dentist or a plumber or whatever, you want to be the first result. Same goes with e-commerce or whatever, any kind of business. So.
Right. And so how is AI changing the way businesses approach SEO?
A lot of different ways. First of all, people seem to prefer it's still, first of all, let's say Google is where most people still get their search traffic from. That hasn't changed yet. Well, who knows? But there's definitely a trend in the way people search behavior. So in the past, you would search something you're interested in and you would get a list of 10 sites, and some of them would be blogs or whatever. But people don't really want to do the research beyond the search. They want to type in, how do I boil an egg? Which is a terrible example, but it's the first thing that came to mind.
It works.
And they don't want to search through 10 blogs to figure that out. They just want something to spit out the answer. And things like ChatGPT are good at that. So they are starting to take some of the search share. Now, how much just depends on who you believe. But just looking at the sites that I have access to analytics on, I definitely see traffic increasing from ChatGPT. It's still not anywhere near as much as Google, but I think that's the direction we're going. And just a personal anecdote, as I go to the movies a lot, and I like to see if there is an end credit scene, so it's worth staying or not. And you search that in Google, you're going to get like 10 sites, and then every site is going to have it like 7 paragraphs in whether there's an end credit scene or not. If you ask ChatGPT, it just says yes or no. So,
right. I love that part.
So people prefer that, and that's the way it's going to go, whether people like that or not. So you do need to adjust your search engine optimization strategies for that. And as a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons I'm here today. Is I find that the more your brand and your name are mentioned, the more it is relevant to AI searches. So I'm doing as many like podcasts and appearances as I can to help our SEO in that way.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, to be on a podcast today, how awesome would that be? At least one,
Yeah.
you know,
You
that
get the
would
number
definitely.
best one, of course, but
Right. So, Chris, what would you say are the biggest SEO mistakes that businesses make in the area of AI?
I mean, most people aren't really thinking about it yet. Like they still, you say SEO, people still associate that with Google. So the biggest mistake they're making relating to the two is not doing anything about it. Like they're still doing the same stuff they did for Google, which still works. But,
Mhm.
why limit yourself? I've
Right.
said that for years anyway. Like why a lot of businesses try to limit themselves just to like search and then they don't use social media or paid advertising or whatever. AI is just another one of those. And like they're so the biggest mistake people are doing is not doing anything with it.
Right. And then that's so, it's almost like putting your head in the sand and
Mhm.
hoping that whatever is happening around you just won't be happening.
Yeah, and that's like instead of that, they should look at it as an opportunity because it's still ahead of the curve. It's like 2 years old, so most of us have cars that are older than that. Like
Right.
think of it like Gary Vaynerchuk. One of the reasons he got famous was because he was doing Google ads back before anybody knew how that worked and was paying a penny per click for really valuable clicks. That's kind of where we're at with AI is that we're ahead of the curve. So take advantage of it before it becomes much more difficult.
Right. I agree with that 100% because right now, I mean, you may pay a small fee for a monthly subscription or something like that, but we certainly want to take advantage of what we have available to us right now before it becomes something that might even be more limited, might limit our access to it or something. Do you foresee that could happen?
I just think it'll get more competitive and things like that. Like I can't predict the direction. I don't even have like a guess. But
Mm,
I mean, it's just the way things work, right? Like in the beginning, if you were on the internet, that was enough. Now it's not. Now that's
right.
like it's standard expectation. So
Right.
it's limiting
Exactly.
but it has made a lot of things that you can do. I think it'll flood certain markets, especially like software as a service, because now there's like AI coding tools like Cursor and Lovable, and if there's like a dozen of them,
Mm.
or you can literally write applications by just saying, "Hey, build me a website that does this," and it'll spit it out. That's literally what I was doing all day yesterday. Was building
What?
a type of like a Google Chrome extension. So that's going
Okay.
to put a lot of software developers in a new position.
Okay. I really need to know more about this.
Okay.
That's why I'm going like I'm having all the effects here because this is like, wait, what? So so hypothetically speaking, say I wanted to build an app. I'm not an app builder. I don't know how to make stuff, with digital content or like things like apps, but I want an app and say I want my app to be able to be available on mobile for people to be able to pick and choose a product or service
Mhm.
online that gets bolted to my website. You're saying that there's an AI that can do that?
Yeah, it's not as simple as it'll be like the people that own it will tell you, but yeah, you can get 90% of the way done just by going, I want an app that does such and such and such and such and such. And it'll spit out the site and it'll spit out some of it. And you'll have to tweak it a little bit. But I mean, if you don't know how to code, you can code doing that. The funny story is I went to college for computer programming and I don't know how to program at all. So that was money well spent. But
Wait, wait, hold on. How can you get a degree in computer programming and not know how to program?
well, I did at the time I graduated, but then like, it changed too much. I never got to do it professionally because it was, there was no jobs at the time I graduated, and then I went into other things. And I could still do basic stuff, but I couldn't do it at a level where I could create something. But now that you have these tools, you can create stuff all day long. It's very fun, but it's also there's a lot of business opportunity there because even like a small piece of software can make thousands of dollars a month if you market it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's what I'm thinking because I have had this idea rolling around in the back of my head of things that I think might help us as a business and that sort of thing. And I'm just like, but I have no idea where to even start to make this thing even happen. Like, and now to hear you say that AI can help me do that, I'm just like, I can't wait for the show. I mean, I'm loving the conversation, but I'm like, okay, I can't wait. You're like, wait, okay, do this.
I mean, it's actually very fun if you're somebody that enjoys making things, So,
Yeah, well,
and as an entrepreneur, I had the same problem that you did. Like, there's a lot of stuff I want to make, but developer time is expensive and it's slow. And nothing against our developers. I have wonderful developers that work for me. But there's sometimes I have like a simple idea and like now I can do that myself.
Right. And yes, developers are amazing because they're basically what makes the world turn. So yeah, I definitely get that. And I never have had a knack for programming or anything like that. I just have these ideas in my head that I think should not just be in my head.
I can tell you're a natural entrepreneur just by the way you say that. Like, you have ideas all the time, and sometimes you have to like rein in yourself and be like, no, you don't have time for that. So,
Exactly. I see you can relate.
yeah,
We're seeing eye to eye here.
I joke with my partner sometimes that whenever we just talk about like a hobby we have, we're instantly trying to make a business out of it. And we joke that not everything has to be a business.
I love it. But why not?
Yeah, exactly.
So funny. I love it. So, Chris, as you think about AI and where we are today, and most of us, when we're starting businesses, start just with the basics, doing what we know, doing what comes naturally, and trying to make a business out of that. So when we're ready to take the next step and scale to a higher level, what role do you think AI can play in that part?
I guess it depends on the type of business, but I think that automating things that are too low level for you to be spending your time on, it'd be the simplest thing. That every business has some kind of tedious crap, pardon my language, but some kind of tedious crap that they don't like to do, and they either hire somebody or they waste their time doing it themselves. A lot of that can be automated with things like ChatGPT and make.com, which is how you create agents, and lots of other stuff like that. So like, I can't think of I guess a good example would be you have to code your expenses. I mean, I have an accountant that does that, but a lot of people still do that manually for their business. You could probably get an AI to do that for you, for example. I don't know if that's a good example or not, but little things like that that have to be done, but aren't really like high leverage activities.
So that's important, getting your bills paid, making sure that the people who work for you get paid, making sure, that your finances are in order. You're saying that there's AI that can help automate that part even?
But to be clear, I wasn't talking about the actual paying of people, just the coding of the expense. It's it's an expense or it's not an expense, the stuff you do in QuickBooks or whatever.
Right.
I don't do it myself anymore. But in theory, you could probably get an AI to handle some of that. My partner has an assistant that's basically just an AI that responds to his emails and sends out like client reports and things. He owns a web development agency, and it sends out his reports and it schedules his appointments. She even has like a picture, but it's not a real person.
So, wow.
Wow. It's me sharing that, but.
Well, hey, it's good to know. I mean, because AI isn't just about text anymore.
Oh, not at all. No.
It's about the whole, I saw an image of a person who was doing headshots. There were like these headshots available through AI. Like you upload one picture of yourself and it transforms that one picture into all these fantastic headshots.
Doing the poses and stuff. And
yeah. It's just insane, all the different things that AI can do.
I think it's a great time to be alive. Anybody that's afraid of it, I don't want to like put down anybody's fear, but just embrace it. I think it's fascinating to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it is very fascinating. And even and it seems to have no limits because it will do voices now even. And there are certain computer programs that have, I don't know if you see how my eyes might be going, left to right when I'm supposed to be looking right into the white light of my camera, but they have AI now that will keep your eyes looking like they're looking at the camera, even though they're all over the place. Have you heard of that?
You can also create like avatars of yourself. There's there's one app called HeyGen where you can like upload a video of yourself talking, and then it'll create an avatar of you. So then you can just put in a script and it'll be like you reading, you can create a new video with you reading whatever is in that script. So in your voice. Now it's not perfect. Like the lip sync tends to not match up, or it does weird hand movements, but it's like 80% there. And then there's a sort of a cliche at this point in people that are in the AI industry. They say that this is the worst it's ever going to be, which is, it's annoying at this point because I've heard it so many times, but it's true. Like right now, it's like 1994 internet.
Right. Exactly. Like dial up and everything. Yeah. But like you said, this is the worst it's ever going to be. It's only going to get better from here. Exactly. And so because we're still kind of on the ground floor, and I put that in air quotes, of this age of AI and technology, it's the time to get comfortable, to get used to this. It's happening. It's just a done deal. And it's just going to get more refined, more structured, more strategic, more influential even. Right. So can you, Chris, share like a real world example of how you've seen a company use AI and SEO for massive growth?
I mean, I hope it's okay if I use my own, but
absolutely.
Yeah, like I said, we saw in 2023 or so that one of our verticals was basically going away. And then we also looked at problems that our customers had told us that they have. And one of the big ones was, I don't know what to buy, because we have a lot of like marketing services on our platform, and people know that they need it, but they don't know what they need. And they ended up not buying anything because they didn't know what to buy. So we've done two different things. We built in a way that they can like just put in their website, and the AI will analyze it and tell them what's wrong, and then connect them to people that can fix those things. And we also built in a chat into it where you can say, I own, pizza business in Cincinnati, and I'd like to get more people through making deliveries through my website or something, but better than that. And it'll tell you like what to do and who to use to do it. So that's been a big turning point for us, because it's a way we've distinguished ourselves from our quote unquote competitors, and it's helped us grow a lot and change our direction. So that's the example I can think of. But on the smaller scale, like a lot of our customers use it just to, again, take tedious things off their plate. And some of the content writers have used it to they don't use it completely for their content, but like that'll give them like the shell, and then they can go in and edit it and make content a lot faster that way.
Right. And that typically is, from what I understand, the best way to use AI. Like it's a good starting point. Like it's a good foundation to build on, but you definitely need to build on it to keep it from sounding so AI.
It's gotten better already, like to the point where I have seen certain prompts that put out content that doesn't need to be edited. But what most people want to do is say, write me an article on, I can't even think of a topic, whatever topic, and then just copy and paste. That's not going to cut it.
Yeah. And like you said, this is the worst it's going to get. This is the worst it's ever going to be. It is going to get better and better and better. And like you said, it's already getting better. So that it probably is able now to be just copied and pasted, and you don't have to do a whole lot of finessing with it, unless you just have a different nuances about your own self or your communication style that kind of is a dead giveaway of,
there's certain things that it does that you can spot every time. Like there's certain words that it uses, like anytime you write anything about marketing, it says, in today's competitive digital landscape. If somebody says that, I know that they used AI. And then it also way overuses dashes, which are like two dashes together. If you see a lot of those in content, that's somebody that's copy and pasted from AI. So,
okay. So what are some other secrets so you can let us in on that we can know if we're looking at something that's AI generated or something that's real?
Those are the first two that I look at. If you rely on content in a specific industry, you'll notice the AI uses a lot of the same terms over and again. So whatever industry you're in, you can probably identify those. If you see a pattern of the same like phrasing over and over again, it's probably AI. But two to look out for in anywhere where is today's competitive digital landscape and
Mhm.
excessive EM dashes and excessive emojis. ChatGPT in particular goes
Mhm.
overboard with using emojis in its content.
Mm. So is there a limit? So I'm an emoji girl. I really like people will, if you ask people, what's the first thing you think about when you hear the name Renee Hastings, my friends, and you ask them, they're like, rainbows and Skittles. This girl is all rainbows and Skittles, no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on in her life or anybody else's life, it's always rainbows and Skittles. Because it can always be worse. That's my mentality. It can always be worse. So anyways, I digress. So I say that to say I use a lot of emojis when I talk. Should I not? Is there a limit to?
You probably use them intentionally, like in a way that makes sense. Like ChatGPT just sticks them on things where it doesn't really need to be there. So.
Okay.
Particularly with like social media, if you ask it to write social media posts, it's always going to use emojis, even if it's a somber topic. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I know how to show empathy, which AI does not. So
You'd
yeah.
be surprised. There are AI therapists now too. So.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, Chris, what do you mean AI therapist?
Like you can set up and I haven't used it. I don't know how well it works, but you can like create what's called an agent, which is an interactive AI, kind of like a chatbot kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there are ones I've seen them advertised that function as a therapist. So.
Oh my word. I just can't. Okay, I'm trying so hard, Chris, to embrace all of this.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it for that either. But my point is it must be good enough for some people. If somebody's not comfortable talking to a human and that helps them, then so be it. But I can't imagine it working personally.
Wow. But now that you put it that way, and I'm thinking about it, because there was a computer on Jeopardy. There was a competition with this computer generated AI thing. I think it was called Marvin or Merlin or whatever it was called. But you asked it questions and it played the game of Jeopardy and basically beat all the contestants in terms of knowledge and, because it had the ability to pull from all these different, I guess, open sources.
Yeah.
This is back way before I even knew about AI. But I too have heard about these ads where people can do talk therapy or whatever, but I always thought there was a person behind it, not an AI.
Yeah, I mean, again, I haven't used it. I don't know, but it's just something I saw and I was like, my first instinct was that's stupid. But then I thought about it again. If like some people are afraid to go to therapy, if that helps them, then so be it.
Yeah. Or they're embarrassed about their situation or whatever they're dealing with or whatever. So yeah, I can definitely see that. But then, because it's collecting all of this data from all these open sources, however it's getting, then, you still stand that chance of.
Yeah, there's definitely some ethical questions that are going to come up more
Yeah.
as it becomes popular. Because, well, first of all, it's not truly AI in that it's not thinking on its own. It's still just taking data that it's gotten from other places. And I think it's going to be a great time to be an intellectual property lawyer because eventually that's going to become something people try to press. So.
Right. I agree 100% because there's so much that is impacted by these automated sources, these AI sources. And that's why I love that some of the AIs around tell you where they're getting their information from.
Yeah.
So that you can go and fact check it for yourself and know that what you're hearing is.
I suspect it will eventually get some regulation that will force them to do that. I don't have any, I haven't read anything about that, but I just, I can't imagine it'll continue to be the Wild West like it is now, which is why I think people should take advantage of it while they can, because it will get, the government will eventually get involved in it, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It certainly is the Wild West right now. So, Chris, as we're continuing this conversation, this is so good. And I am just enjoying this so much because it's so relevant to business. It's so relevant to who we are as entrepreneurs that, that want to stay cutting edge, that want to stay innovative, that want to stay competitive in the digital market. You know? This is just so crucial to get a handle on it, so crucial to get familiar with it. And even if you as a business owner don't get familiar with it, have people on your team who are familiar with it so they can help you be successful.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, because this is definitely shaping the future of digital marketing.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's just like if there's a question you don't know an answer to, you can just quickly ask one of those to get an answer. A good friend of mine explained ChatGPT is like having access to the smartest person in the world on every topic and at a click or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of that, and this has kind of made me think about the smart glasses, the Meta smart glasses. Have you seen? I'm sure you've seen those.
I've seen them. I haven't really looked into it much.
Well, my husband was kind enough to get me a pair for Christmas.
Oh.
And so we were at a Sunday football game at somebody's house, and someone said, I wonder what college this player went to before they started playing professionally. So I just tapped the side of my glasses and I said, hey, Meta, what college did such and such go to before they got professional? And then it just responded right in my ear, and it gave me the answer of the college that he went to. And I was able to share the information with the rest of the room. I'm like, yeah, I'm the smartest person in this room right now.
You definitely don't tell them that's how you got it. Just
and they're like, wait. So anyways, it was Meta. I blame it on Meta. So, but yeah, technology is just definitely just becoming so creative in how they're able to get you the information, even whether it's on your watch, whether it's on your glasses, whether it's on your phone. There's no reason to be ignorant of anything anymore.
You have the answer to literally all of human knowledge at the sound of your at the sound of your voice.
Yes, absolutely. But you know what's so funny about that? So we had a podcast course that we did for high schoolers a couple years ago. And part of their assignment was to do like write a caption or something for a graphic a post that they were going to do. And you could tell that the caption was written by AI because when they had to repeat it, it's like they didn't know the words. They didn't know how to pronounce the words. And they had actually put into this assignment. And I'm like, look, y'all, you have to actually do the work. You can't have the computer do it all for you. And if it does,
I don't know how you can possibly search for plagiarism and now. So good luck to them.
There's got to be an AI for that too. Oh, so funny. It's just limitless, Chris. Just limitless.
Definitely.
So what do you see are maybe some of the upcoming trends that we might want to be on the lookout for to help us as business owners, to keep us paying attention so that we don't miss out?
Man, it's hard to say. It's it changes so fast. There's so many different AI models and things. I would think that I don't know if it's a trend, but anytime there's a tool that you need for your business, I think that AI development is the way to go with it. My goal is to start replacing all the different softwares that I need. Not all of them, not like Microsoft Office or anything like that, but little tools that you need for SEO. I'm starting to build them myself and use them myself. And I think that's the opportunity, is that you don't have to try to fit something else into your business. You can make something for your business much simpler than you ever could before. And the same goes for getting data or answers. You can always just ask rather than having to hire expensive consultants or whatever. So have that be your first stop rather than just a toy. A lot of people still use it as kind of a toy. And I think that they are really underestimating the power of it. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but that's kind of the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it is more than just a source to just get questions answered. This can actually help build your business,
Yeah.
help fill in those gaps that you don't already have, fill in the gaps that you have without having to bring on like an actual human and pay hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars for something that you can find out for yourself and fact check, within just a few minutes,
Yeah, when I started in like 2013, I started an SEO agency. If I were in that same position today, what I would do would be an AI automation agency. So I would go to business. I haven't seen anybody do this, and it's surprising to me, but I would go into businesses and find ways to automate everything they do, or as much as possible of what they do, and just charge them for that. So another way people can leverage that if they want is to actually be an expert at it and help businesses automate and get rid of people. So
well, because payroll and fringe, it's a thing. So yeah, definitely any way that you can increase margin, that's what being in business is all about, right?
Yeah, you don't have to be cold about it, but that's just it is what it is.
Right, exactly. And some people are afraid of it, I think, because they're like, it's going to take my job. It's going to take my job,
If it does, I hate to be cold, but your job deserves to be taken if a computer program can do it,
So what would you say to them if they are like, how do I keep my job or how do I stay employable?
It depends on what they do, but I would just tell them you're going to have to learn valuable skills. That's basically that's how capitalism works, is you have to do something that can be exchanged for value. And if what you do is no longer exchangeable for value, you're going to have to learn something else, as hard as that's going to be for some people to hear.
Yeah. And in this day and age of AI and SEO and technology and all of that, I think anything related to that, being able to serve it in that space, those are always going to be employable skills.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always. Forever. Because technology is just getting faster and faster and faster and more creative, more innovative. And the more you can jump on that train and stay ahead of that train, or be able to at least conduct the train, the more relevant you're going to be, and the more you won't have to worry about, is AI going to take my job?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to downplay that fear. I get that where that comes from, but I think you got to deal with the world the way it is rather than the world the way you wish it was.
Right. Exactly. I mean, we all wish that money grew on trees, and that there was always rainbows and Skittles falling from the sky. But that's just not the way it is
now. So thanks for that.
So we have to think about what strategies we can use as business owners to stay relevant, and we need to know what to prioritize. So Chris, help us understand, what do we need to prioritize as business owners?
I mean, it sounds, basically, I work with a lot of businesses, and it doesn't really relate to AI, but a lot of businesses think their business is doing the thing that they do. If they're an accountant, they think it's doing the accounting. If they're a plumber, they think it's doing the plumbing. Your job as a business owner is really to get more business. So get as much as you can, as often as you can. I can't stand when somebody says, I ask them how they get their business, and say, it's all through referrals. I was like, that's not going to cut it. Even if it is cutting it, like, you're not safe that way. So get way more than you can, get as much business as you can to the point where stuff starts breaking. That's when you know that you're getting enough business, is that you can't keep up, and then try to get even more. So that's the biggest safety net you can ever have, is constantly not being obscure and having enough people know who you are and know what you do, that you constantly have too much business, more than you can handle. So that's the safest you can be as an entrepreneur, as weird as it sounds. Like, the more problems you have, the safer you are.
Wow. The more problems you have, the safer you are, because of the growth, because of the expansion. Yeah. And now when you say just get more business, that's loaded.
Sure.
Because that's, of course, our objective is to always be closing ABC, right? On some kind of deal, and AI can help us
Oh, definitely.
get more business.
Yeah.
Right?
And yeah, if you get your business through advertising, it can make it so much faster to create copy and create sites and things that you do. I'm having a hard time thinking of a good example, but like launching a new funnel or something like that, you can do that in a few hours rather than a few weeks. So,
Right.
speed up the process, I guess, is what is the simplest answer to that. Now, there's a lot of other things you can do as well. But
Mm-hmm. Care to share?
that's a great thing to ask that. But if you need a new product, you can create things. I guess faster is the real solution with AI, or you can invent something that if you've always had that idea in your head, now you can get it made. That kind of thing. But as far as getting business, it can replace a lot of manual labor. So to get things faster, so you can get answers faster or get things created faster or whatever. So that's how it can help you get more business. Or you can just start offering some sort of AI service where before you are just offering, if you are a marketing agency, for example, you can get more marketing done because now you have at a click of a few buttons. Remember that campaign I did 2 weeks ago? Can you help me make that same thing for another industry? And instead of having to rethink the whole thing. So.
Right. I love that. Love it. That's so good. Ugh, okay. This is a lot. This has been so good. Those ideas are just swirling around in my head. And I can't wait to at least get them on a board somewhere and get them out of my head. So I can remember all the different ideas and thoughts that could be great buckets, build-ons to what we currently offer, as a service.
Right.
So, and that all, business owners can do, it's like, this is what we do right now. But when we think about how AI can help increase our productivity, help us stay more relevant, help us, stay more competitive and cutting edge. I mean, that's where we really continue to increase our safety net, I guess. Is that the best way to put it? That you kind of solidify your place in this whole realm of business ownership or entrepreneurship or whatever it looks like, because you're using AI and SEO to stay in front of people. And like you said, the more you stay in front of people, the more people know your name, whether it's by you showing up on podcasts or using marketing and AI to develop, funnels quicker, whatever that looks like. The more you're out there, the more people see your name, the more people, understand what it is that you do, and the greater your chances of actually bringing in all that new business that causes those problems that makes you know that you're being successful.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you. That was a much better summary of what I said than what I actually said. So thank you for that. That was perfect. That explains it exactly how I had it in my head. So you're like a medium.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
I love it. So, Chris, this has been so great. And I know that our audience is going to have more questions.
Sure.
They're going to want to stay in touch with you. They're going to want to learn more how they can do exactly what you said. So how can our audience stay in touch with you, or where can they find you?
As far as staying in touch with me, you can check out our website, legit.com with 2 I's, because one wasn't enough. And that can help you out with your business. If you want to get in touch with me personally, you can find me on YouTube or on Facebook. Make sure you search Chris M. Walker, because there was a one-hit wonder in the 90s named Chris Walker. And when you search, that's why I have the M, and everything is the M. So
Chris M.
Walker. But yeah, Facebook and YouTube are the best ways to get in touch with me. I do daily live streams on YouTube, and I'm very active on Facebook as well.
Excellent. And tell us more about your daily live streams.
It's a funny story. And during early pandemic, I was like, how am I going to stay in touch with my customers, and how are we going to, help them? And so I just started doing those every day. And I hate to say it, but like the pandemic was very good for our business because of that. And then, like any good entrepreneur, when I find something that's working, I stop doing it. That's a joke. But I'm doing it for some reason. And then recently, maybe a few months ago, I was like, that worked really well. Maybe I should start doing that again. And so I do that again. It's a great way to like sell people indirectly. It's a great way to get your name out there. It helps structure your day. And I also try to like show what I'm doing, so it forces me to keep doing new things, to have new content to make. So
Yeah. That is a great motivator, knowing that you're going to be on camera and you need to have something to talk about to keep moving forward, keep things in motion, because you don't want to become stagnant. You don't want to, because when you become stagnant, you become quickly irrelevant because things are continuing to stay in motion whether you do or not.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want to fall into just talking about theory. I want to actually show people things. So, but I only know a finite amount of things. So I have to keep learning new things to show people things. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love it. What a great website. So so find you on YouTube, find you on Facebook, get this daily content that you're putting out there to help us business owners. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Help us reduce the fear, if not eliminate it entirely when it comes to AI and how it can benefit us as business owners. Chris, this has just been so incredibly wonderful.
Oh, I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you.
Absolutely. Chris, you were made for something great. So go and be awesome.
Thank you.